Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got game number 2 of this best-of-3 series between the Wild Witch Doctors and Dignotoss coming up for you guys. What a quick game 1, Merlini. What can they do coming into game 2 to take us to an ace match?
Replace their players, apparently. So, first game, they had Derp Nayrok 1, Dota.D2, and a stand-in, and they were missing Chicken MC back to the streets. And then now it's Bloody 9 and Justin. So, I don't know.
A bad time to have roster issues when you're on your elimination best-of-3.
Maybe, well, the Storm was a little weak, to be fair, but at the same time, yeah, you don't really want to be using stand-ins on an elimination match. This is an elimination game right here.
Yes, it certainly is. The Wild Witch Doctors could take a quick best-of-3 series and move on to the Losers Bracket Finals, or we could be moving to an ace match. Let's get into the draft and find out. So, we see some slightly different bans here. This time, the Invoker and Doom banned out by WWD. The Mirana, Nature's Prophet, they will not get their Priestess of the Moon, but that means Ember Spirit left on the in the pool. And Dignotoss snatch him up, first pick.
I think Nyx is a very good pick versus Ember Spirit, though. Like, if he gets stunned, he is
weak sauce.
He's gone.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's weak sauce. I mean, he needs to be able to be offensive without actually, he's like a glass cannon, right? So if he gets stunned once, either just by stun out of Vendetta or by overextending a little bit and getting hit by a Carapace or just any stun of these two, then he's going to die. So he's really weak in that aspect.
Now, we've seen Ember Spirit once in this tournament, and the one time we saw him, he had absolute free farm. He was in a lane against Nature's Prophet, I think, who ended up roaming around, setting up kills and jungling. So that was a very successful Ember Spirit. I think it's safe to say he's not a hero that you should leave unchecked in the laning stage.
You can leave him unchecked for like 6 minutes.
6 minutes, okay.
Like,
that's your benchmark.
That's like, okay, he'll have a Perseverance, but he's not going to get his Battle Fury. He might have like phase boots, but he won't have his drums. He's not going to have like that much amount of farm. So, like, and 6 minutes is like about the time your mid hits level 6, and it's also the middle of nighttime. So it's also the time that the first rewards expire. So
just
6 or 7 minutes.
Perfect time to just try and gank an Ember Spirit.
Well, before it was really perfect because that was when nighttime hit.
Oh,
so,
right.
But now it's like halfway into nighttime, so it's not as you have like a smaller window for that nighttime gank and level 6. So you have 6 to 8 minutes. So a lot of people expect it around that time. But if you are going to let him, leave him in an easy one-on-one situation, or even just a free farm lane, I would say put pressure on him like around that time. And he might not be level 6 himself.
Right, and that is huge for Ember Spirit because that's really when he starts to get a little bit more mobile. Sort of like Storm Spirit. He's much easier to gank before he hits that level 6 mark. So it will be interesting. He is that new hero, and we've also mentioned that with any kind of new hero being entered into Captain's mode, there's just that wild card aspect. Teams don't know exactly how he fits into the meta. There are still strategies that have yet to been identified, and teams usually don't like to gamble too much, but hey, after Dignotoss lost that first game so handily, maybe they should go for a gamble a little bit
Well,
here.
they were the team that used Ember Spirit and won.
Were they?
Yeah, they were the team.
Oh, well.
Because they used a Morphling that got wrecked, and they used the Ember Spirit. We're like, oh wow, Ember Spirit is so much more useful with farm. What a surprise!
Oh yeah, now would you look at that? What's also going to be interesting is what build will he go for? We're harping on this Ember Spirit quite a bit.
Last time he went phase drums.
Desolator.
Deso. Yes.
He went straight Desolator. Yeah, that was his first big ticket item. And it was a pretty quick victory as well. Now, the other classic build on Ember Spirit, if you can call it that, is the double Battle Fury build, where you max out that Sleight of Fist. Well, you max out anyhow, but the Sleight of Fist is why you're going for the Battle Furies, and you have that big area, and you're just cleaving people down. It can be a pretty irritating harass.
I agree.
But it takes a while to get there.
Yeah, it's much longer to get online than the phase drums, and it also gives you absolutely zero defensive capabilities. So, I mean, besides giving you more mana, but no HP buffer, which is what he really needs. And if he gets mana burn, he might not even have mana to Remnant.
Yeah.
Ooh, the Tinker.
Yeah,
that's
Tinker.
Cool. That's an early Tinker pick.
Yeah. Usually Tinker is a 4th or usually 5th pick, that kind of wild card, because how often do you see a Tinker banned out?
Yeah, but Tinker, I think he's underrated as a hero. He's really, really difficult to shut down before BOTs, and he's even more difficult to shut down after BOTs. So, like, what do you really do versus him? Like, if you balk his Ancient Spawn, he just takes mid.
Yeah.
And he can also just take out random neutral stacks, too. And then once he gets his BOTs, like, you have to be very, very vigilant about ganking him. And then once he gets his sheep, he is just, like, an absolute terror. So I actually like Tinker a lot. I think he's a very good hero, and he also has pure damage to deal with Ember Spirit and Composite, so his shield won't be able to save him, his Flame Guard. They have a lot of things to go through. I think is it Magic? It goes through Magic Absorb, I believe. Actually, I'm not sure.
Are you talking about March Machines?
No. His laser. I don't know how laser interacts with pipe.
with pipe. I don't
With
know.
pipe,
It's labeled
it's the
as,
same thing as pipe.
it's labeled as pure damage.
Yeah, pure isn't
pure
mitigated
should-
by any sort of resist, but I don't know how absorb actually goes through it. I should
That's-
probably know
That's
this.
a good question. This is your job.
I know, I
You've
should
gotten
know
to throw
this.
that into my face a couple of times. I
I
can
know.
throw it your
I'll
way.
look it up.
That's your job, mechanics, man.
Pretty sure it should go through it.
I would guess that it does. Pure damage. I'm trying to think of a time that like I've had a pipe on and then Omni Knight has tried to hit me with his nuke or
10
something along
seconds
those
remaining.
lines.
Oh, why can't I type in here? I'm
Like,
not sure
does,
either.
Does Timber Soul's pure
5
damage go through
seconds
pipe? That's one
remaining.
that you may have
We
seen
don't.
more
We never
often.
see pipe. That's the problem, and we never see
Yeah.
Ember Spirit.
Yeah, that's
So-
true. We don't see those mechanics.
Reserve
Yeah,
time.
pipe is. I think you and I agreed once that pipe is a pretty highly underrated item.
Okay, absorbs both magic and composite damage, but will not absorb physical and pure.
Okay, so pure damage will cut through the shield of Ember Spirit as well as a pipe. So Tinker makes a good choice.
I don't know
here.
why it doesn't absorb pure. Oh, I guess it just
Because
says
it's pure damage. It's
it
supposed to be
absorbs
chaos
magic.
damage. It just goes through
I know, but
everything.
pure doesn't hit magic immune units. So like it seems like
Oh,
like
yeah.
magic immune is blocked by pure, but magic absorb takes pure. I don't know. The
That's
interaction
your-
is kind of weird.
You're right. That is a little bit strange.
Yeah, but it does say it absorbs magic damage, so fair enough.
Okay.
Anyways,
10
So, but
seconds
that's good. They've
remaining.
got a lot of pure damage now to deal with this Ember Spirit because you have the Tinker and you've also got Bane's
if he,
Brain Sap.
if he gets like Vendetta
Radiant
into
team pick.
Vendetta into Sap and Laser, he's just dead, like on the spot with shield.
And here they have Disruptor, another hero that deals well with Ember Spirit. Now I've got a mechanics question for you. Can he use the Fire Remnant to scoot out of Kinetic Field? Or
Yeah,
will Kinetic
I'm
Field stop him?
Almost certain about that.
Almost certain that it will not.
That it
Kinetic,
will.
that it will.
That he can get out of kinetic field.
Okay. All right. That's another one. I haven't seen it. I've casted one game of Ember
10
Spirit, so that's
seconds
one that I
remaining.
just don't know. But
Yeah, he
still
can.
a useful tool to deal with Ember Spirit.
5
Glimpse,
seconds remaining.
you know,
The
hop
silence is just really own it
yeah,
versus
and the
him.
silence as well. Yeah, I guess that's true. If you get him caught in a
Reserve
kinetic and then you
time.
static storm anyhow, he's not scooting anywhere.
I think you can. I'm not sure if you can like actually time it. Remember we saw the clockwork hook shot as he got glimpsed.
That was crazy. That
Yeah.
was he got glimpsed into a kinetic field static storm, but hook shotted like while the glimpse was happening and just hook shotted out of the static storm. I don't even know how that was possible. That's one
Yeah,
of those.
I'm not sure if you can do that with Ember Spirit too. If you like act like go to your remnant like right as you get glimpsed and you're like traveling as you get glimpsed back. I mean that's
Yeah,
you can probably do
it's
it.
probably possible, but it just takes that super clutch like 1/100th of a second kind of reaction time. Just jam the button and hope
Yeah.
for the best.
That's
Eyes closed.
some high skill stuff.
Yeah, high skill. So, well, Wild Witch Doctors are drafting some valuable tools, though, to try and shut down this hard carry of Dignotoss. And I think the Rubik's second pick makes some sense here. Usually a good choice against Bane, Fiend's Grip, one of the easiest spells to steal. So that does come in handy. And they grab the Visage as well, support that truly needs no introduction. So Wild Witch Doctors, they're going to need a carry for their fifth pick. And, well, we'll see
Do
what
they need
Dignotoss
one
does.
though?
10
But do
seconds
they actually
remaining.
need a carry?
I don't think so. I mean, they probably will get one, but you don't
5
really need
seconds
one with Tinker
remaining.
Yeah,
usually.
Tinker can certainly suffice as a carry.
Yeah,
He-
you need someone to I guess
Team
has a little
back.
bit of physical deeps.
Yeah, Tinker is. That's one of the things about Tinker that a lot of people don't realize. He really scales into the late game. He eventually
Yeah.
becomes a carry. Once you have the mana pool to perma sheep somebody, that
Or
gets
just
pretty
Dagon 5
pretty.
in Dagon 5 EV. Like
Yeah,
you can't do anything about it. If you have BKB, you'll just get perma hex to
10
death.
seconds
So
remaining.
and almost never do Ember Spirits build HP builds. So he'll
5
get just
seconds
obliterated by
remaining.
that.
right. Well, Puck will be the fourth choice for Team Dignotoss. Now, how does Puck fare against
5
Tinker in a
seconds
solo mid
remaining.
matchup?
That's about
About a wash,
even.
pretty even until.
I've actually seen Tinkers kill Puck, but only when they go max laser or rocket. But it's
Radiant
rare that
team
you're
back.
able to do so.
Yeah,
but
and that's not a very common build. The March of the Machines is the way to go these days, right? Isn't that what?
it's a safer build.
yeah. That's
be-
what I think every Tinker I've seen in competitive has done that.
Dire
in the past
team
couple
pick.
months.
Laser Rocket is good against some matchups, like Shadow Fiend. In
Mhm.
particular, I think it's good against because he has a really low HP pool,
Right.
and you can just man fight him and just run up right next to him. So it's decent, but March is just so much better because it helps you get your bots faster, which helps you get more levels, so you can actually max out Laser Rocket.
Right.
So Laser doesn't actually scale that well, but it does a lot of damage. I mean, Rocket just does like insane damage because it hits 2 targets.
10
So
seconds remaining.
Yeah.
The final band's a little bit interesting. PL, the choice for Wild Witch Doctors. I don't know that they would have picked one. Anti-Mage, yeah, they could have gone for that, but Wild Witch Doctors will pick the dreaded Morphling.
It's a solo mid-ember.
Yeah, it must be so. Okay, I take that back. Wild Witch Doctors were on point. They knew it was going to be a hard carry last. I'm a little bit surprised.
The dreaded Morphling, indeed.
Yeah.
I've actually seen late-game Morph versus late-game Ember, and the problem is Ember kills Morph's team much faster than Morph kills the Ember's team. So, like in a man fight, Morphling will beat an Ember Spirit, but Ember Spirit just kills everybody else.
Yeah, he does way more AoE damage.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, I don't think it'll get. It's not like gonna get to that point most likely where it's just like super farm Morph or super farm Ember and all the Florida supports are really poor. But I mean, I have seen that before, and there's a Spectre to worry about too. So I'm not exactly sure why they picked Morphling either. Morphling is like, they could have gotten a better carry.
Yeah,
like
there's a lot of them out
carry.
there. Any other ranged carry?
10 seconds.
Anti-Mage is really good, though, versus Spectre.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of crutches him, actually.
Do you worry, though? I look at this DNT roster, and I just worry that it could be a little bit too greedy. It's only a dual core, but Ember Spirit and Spectre on the same team.
It's really greedy.
I mean, in my mind, that's like having a Void and a Spectre on the same team, or an Anti-Mage and a Spectre on the same team. Is it to that degree of greed?
No. Ember can fight early.
Okay, so Ember's not quite as late game.
No, he has good early game abilities. His if you just go like a 4-1-4 build, it's pretty ownage. Flame Guard does a lot of damage, and he has Bolus for 3 targets too, and they don't have any like summons to tank any of the Bolus too, so he can gank very effectively.
Okay. It will be interesting seeing him in the solo mid role. That's a nice change of pace from what we saw last time. I guess that means Puck will be in presumably a solo safe lane?
I would say off lane.
Or an off lane.
You will almost never see a Spectre in the off lane. And if you do, you usually get crushed.
Yeah, well, it seems that you're right as Puck orbs up towards the top, and that's where he's headed. So let's introduce these rosters. Here on the Radiant side, we've got Team Dignotoss tagged up as DNT. They are down 0-1 in this best-of-3 series, 1 game away from elimination. We've got stand-in Bloody 9 playing on the off-lane Puck. 1 will be on the Ember Spirit, headed solo mid, and they will have a defensive tri-lane, Derp supporting on the Rubik, Narok supporting on the Visage, and stand-in Justin will be playing on the hard farming Spectre.
And on Wild Witch Doctors, Team Dire in this particular game, up 1-0 in this best of 3. Winner will advance to the losers bracket finals. We have XCOM on the Disruptor. We have IX Mike on the solo offlane Nyx Assassin, Sna on the solo mid Tinker, WWD, the namesake of the team, on the Bane, and Ush on the carry Morphling.
So, interesting stuff. Who do you think has the late game advantage here?
I would say Wild Witch Doctors because the permahex is too difficult to deal with if they have a lot of farms. So I think if like Ember and Tinker are equally farmed and Spectre and Morphling are equally farmed, the Tinker and the Morph will win. So it's, and they also have better gank, I think, with Nyx and Bane and Disruptor. They're probably going to be able to create more opportunities for pickoffs than Dignotoss.
Yeah, and there's just so much more control on the side of the Wild Witch Doctors. You've got Bane, who has a PhD in control. You've got Nyx Assassin as well with his Impale. Disruptor, I mean, he's pretty well versed in the ways of controlling the enemies. And even Morphling, well, maybe not that much, but he's got a little bit, just a little bit here and there. And Tinker, of course, as we've been talking about, that perma sheep can be quite scary. So I worry that in the late game, DNT just won't have the control to deal with these team fights.
I don't think so either. They don't have enough like hard stuns. They have silences and like pseudo disables and like bolus and stuff like that, but it's just not the same as a hex.
Yeah. And Puck will have his work cut out for him here in the top lane. We see him getting harassed back already by the Disruptor, although actually...
There's an Orb of Venom on the Disruptor.
Whoa. Now that's interesting. Is Orb of Venom ever really good on ranged heroes?
I've seen it gotten on Quap mildly successfully once. With Shadow Strike. It was back when Shadow Strike was really good too, so you would just like crush people with the damage over time.
The extra dots, yeah. But usually, very rare to see that on a ranged hero. We will see Bane rotate from that top tri-lane, recognizing they don't need 3 heroes to shut down a Puck, and will throw an Enfeeble out on Ember Spirit to make his farming a bit more difficult. And with only 54 or 56 base damage, that minus 30, pretty darn significant. That'll make Sna's life a lot easier here in the mid.
Yep, and it will delay his bottles fairly significantly because he did offer that stout shield first, so he won't have his bottle by the time the 2-minute rune comes along. XCOM trying to get level 2. I think once they get the glimpse, they can kill him, because as soon as he orbs, you just glimpse him back, and then there's a kill.
Yeah, that's true. Disruptor also works very well against Puck. I was thinking about the Ember Spirit, but Disruptor just well suited for this team. Even Spectre to a lesser extent, but still can help mitigate some of the elusiveness of that Spectral Dagger once he starts cruising about the trees. So
the Puck has a lot more experience than the Nyx, though.
Yeah, I was just about to comment on that. IX Mike struggling quite a bit, only halfway through level 1, did open boots first, and he is 0-0 in terms of last hits.
They might go for a kill right now.
Oh, Nyx Assassin, Telekinesis, pulled back. The nuke from Visage, Spectre with the Spectral Dagger, and IX Mike is in some trouble. The Spike Carapace.
Spike, yeah.
And he lives. Narok.
Wow, he had 168 mana.
Ooh.
That is close.
That's unfortunate. Narok actually takes a lot of tower shots there. He will have a salve, but well played by the Nyx Assassin. He survives to tell the tale in a 1v3 scenario.
IX Mike should also be pulling Ancients if he's getting zoned out, just so he can catch up with Ancients.
Yeah, well, he did stack. There's a double stack here. Thunder Lizards and a couple of those birds, the dragons.
Oh, so he has been stacking. That's really good for him.
Yeah.
And for Snob.
Yeah, and for Snob. Most importantly, it's important for the Tinker, but still at least he's doing something. Let's look at the mid lane here, and Ember Spirit is really struggling quite a bit. He's only 5-2 against the 12-9 Tinker, so Snob, well, he's just having a grand old time.
But he has a DD now.
Yeah, double damage rune up will help quite a bit, though, and having a bottle will help as well.
Enfeeble coming out soon from the Wild Witch Doctor, but not there yet. He needs levels badly. Like Bane, like level 1 is just so incredibly useless. So he needs to be sucking up some levels. Disruptor, I guess he wants maybe level 3 so he can use all 3 of his spells. But Bane really needs his level 6 or even level 3 ASAP.
And looking at the offlaners again, Puck is about halfway through level 3. He's at least got a few last hits to his name, sitting 8-1. IX Mike still completely zoned out. Well, I scratched that. He's actually been able to grab a little bit of experience, now working towards level 3 as well. So he's made a small recovery, and now those offlaners are starting to even out a little bit. Looking at the farm, DNT started with a big boost, and now things are leveling out. And we've got a pretty quiet early game on our hands here, Merlini. 4 minutes in, no first blood.
Yep. That's how it gears up, though. With a Morphling in the game, and a Spectre, and an Ember Spirit.
And a Tinker.
And a Tinker. He actually went 2-2-1, so not the Max March build.
Interesting. Is this the standard laser heat-seeking build with just a value point in March Machines?
1-1-3 is the general build. You get the value point in laser because the miss is 3 seconds at all levels. Value point in heat-seeking missile because it does 200 damage for 1 point at level 1. And then Martial Machines does a lot of damage too. So looks like Illusion Rune will be protected by the Radiant supports. And let's see what build Ember Spirit went for. The 1-1-3, that's pretty standard too. At least for solo mid.
Yeah, and also up against a Tinker who's putting out some magic damage potentially. Flame Guard, well, only a little bit of magic damage as it may be, but still Flame Guard comes in handy, and it does a hell of a lot of damage.
There's smoke from Nadrock and Derp looking to get that first blood. We're almost 5 minutes in. IX Mike about to stack his 3rd Ancient Camp, but looks like Sna is probably in a lot of trouble, though.
Yep, they will rotate in. They're still on the Radiant side of the map. Visage sitting level 3 does have that 2nd point in Soul Assumption. And Derp, he's sitting only level 2, but not much to comment on. Telekinesis and Fade Bolt online. Maybe they'll rotate up top. We see a 3-man dive behind the tower. They don't grab a kill on the Puck, but they will intercept the creep wave, and this top tier 1 will start taking heavy pressure.
Uh-oh. WWD is in a terrible position.
Okay, uses Nightmare on Puck. Now in comes the nukes from Rubik as well as the Visage. Telekinesis pulls him back. There's the Illusory Orb. And first blood secured on the Bane Elemental. Visage the one to grab the bonus gold.
Yeah, just a slight out of position for him, but I mean, it's a very low chance that the 2 supports from bottom smoked all the way to top lane. But it was a pretty important kill, and now Puck is level 4, and he is getting very good amounts of experience. Nyx is almost level 4, so he's not doing so bad either. And yep, the Ancient stack is stacked 3 times right now. Tinker checking his BOT status, only 700 gold there, going with a 2-2-2 build.
Yep. But I guess this is okay for Tinker. Number 3 on the net worth charts. Well, Ember Spirit is catching up quickly, but still has a sizable lead. Double damage rune does spawn bottom here at the 6-minute mark. Bane scouts it out, and Tinker will waddle his way down and fill up that bottle, denying it from Ember Spirit, which is certainly good news. Spectre is the big breadwinner, though. Actually, just about blow for blow with the Morphling. Slightly ahead, but I always worry when you see a Spectre in free farm heaven, as we've talked about. He'll have a much bigger impact in this Morphling with even farm.
Sna gets engaged on mid. Oh, he misses the bolus. Get that uphill fog. And he just placed a ward here, so he didn't have vision.
Wow.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
I think it's affected by vision. It looked like it just missed because he didn't have vision.
Yeah.
But
And IX Mike does have his arcane boots up now, so first core item on that Nyx Assassin.
I don't know how he got that. I guess, I mean, he has ACS, but he hasn't died. But arcane boots already. I guess he started off with boots first too. So
He started boots first, but just don't forget that the supports left this lane quite some while ago. So he's got 8 CS now, and he's at least
that
able
passive
to
gold.
yeah, lane against this Spectre. But yeah, I guess you're right. Most of it is really passive gold with only 8 CS on the field.
I mean, where does Disruptor's boots though? He doesn't even have boots, and Nyx has arcane boots, and they have like almost the same last hits.
I think Disruptors were more jungle from the easy camp here, though.
Yeah.
So that number is a little bit deceiving. When you have
That
junglers.
oof, man. I don't know if that oof is gonna pay off.
Not sure either. Disruptor. Oh, he actually did have his boots. They were just delivered on the
okay.
courier. So there you have it, Merlini. The math adds up.
Ooh, I thought he was gonna. Or they need some glimpsage.
Some glimpsage.
Glimpsage.
Yeah, well, they will come forward, putting some harassment on the puck. There's the glimpse into a kinetic field. And Waning Rift, Illusory Warp out. Puck actually does a lot of damage here. Poured in from the Visage. The tower falls, though. Nightmare comes out on the Disruptor. Great play from Wild Witch Doctor, but he takes it off. And they secure the kill onto Disruptor.
He misses the waveform on Bloody 9, too. Now he might die.
Oh, Ush, stuck in the trees. Why did he take the Nightmare off of his friend, though?
I am not sure.
I think at least it would have been a deny onto Disruptor, right?
Yeah.
If he had died,
He should have
so
been.
he could have just left. That was just strange. Could have left him in the Nightmare a little bit longer, but they make it a 1-for-1 at least up top. IX Mike maybe in some trouble down bottom. There's a 3-man gank coming his way. Support inbound. He does use the Spike Carapace, does not get any procs, but a nice impale catches 2. Kinetic field buys him some time, and support from XCOM is successful as IX Mike makes it back to the tower.
Yeah, that no one hit the Spike Carapace, yet he was still able to escape. So I mean, that did buy him a lot of time there.
Waveform in on the puck, and Bloody 9 takes a spill.
That's it.
Ush just sat in the trees that entire time. I think Puck had figured he backed up, but patience pays off on this one.
Patience from Ush.
I mean, he was sitting in those trees for a while, just not last
I think the guy knew it too.
Yeah, he saw him hop in there, but I mean, it's just a gamble. You think, how long are you going to sit there and not farm? And he definitely sat there longer than I think one would normally. So he rolled the dice, and in this particular scenario, he did not crap out.
Ush in a lot of trouble here. He does have a fair amount of mana to morph, and he does not have any creeps to take the bolus for him. So if he has a TP scroll, he can just TP away, but the supports are running past the creep wave, so I think he knows that something is up.
Yep, Ember Spirit has plenty of time left on this invisibility rune.
This is a lot of time for one kill, though. Like,
Yeah.
your soul limit is just letting the Tinker get his boost of travel. He does have boost of travel right now after taking the ancient stack. So, oh, actually, Tinker's gonna die.
Oh yeah, XCOM.
Oh!
He might actually be the target instead.
Nice, he got glimpsed back. So I mean, at least Tinker didn't die. That's much more important than Ush in some trouble.
Spectre still gets a free kill, but Ush will wait for him back. He survives. So you're absolutely right. Even though it was a kill for Spectre, that's never really good. You're minimizing your losses, and Tinker survives. Now has his boots of travel up, and this is when Tinker
and
starts
Soul
to
Ring
come
too.
online. Also the Soul Ring. Yeah, he had the Soul Ring, I think, a while ago. But
That's scary.
yeah, this Tinker is now online. How is this for a BOT timing? 10-minute mark? Is that standard,
it's
good, or poor?
Really good with Soul Ring.
Really
It'd be slightly slower than average without, but it's still pretty good.
IX Mike in big trouble in the mid lane. They will finish him
Why
off.
did he run out of the coil?
Yeah, March Machine comes in. He may have been able to survive if he hadn't glimpsed back onto the puck. And Bloody 9 will pay the price. They at least make it a 1-for-1. Now this Ember Spirit, he's trying to go man mode on this Bane. He may secure the kill, but he's diving the tower into 3. I do not know about that choice right there. WWD even survives.
I don't know about
what
that
a
either.
misplay.
If he had a remnant, he has 3 remnant charges. Where's his remnant?
That was just a straight misplay.
Yeah. Well, Ember Spirit is a fairly high skill cap hero, I believe, though. He's not the easiest thing. You can't just like run in like Lifestealer and get a couple of kills. You need some finesse.
That was just way too bold. I mean, if it was just the Bane there, I could understand what he was thinking. But there were 3 heroes.
And a March.
Yeah, and March. I mean, that was just not a care in the world. It was almost like he had a mech up his sleeve or something.
A mech and Aegis and a cheese.
Yeah, but he didn't. He just walked in and died. So, very unfortunate. We see Tinker using those boots of travel. He's hopping all over the place.
Spectre's farmed.
Yeah, he sure is. But not as much as this Tinker. Spectre only 4.3k on the net worth chart. Tinker's at 5.4k, so he's still a good bit ahead of that Spectre.
Yeah, he is just racking in the gold after Ember. Kind of just gave him a free kill. Oh, Snot actually got a kill on Puck, too? Oh, that was the... I was watching him. That wasn't the glimpse.
That was the fight. Yeah, no, they glimpsed the puck back in.
Yeah.
That was the glimpse, yes. Okay, sorry. So IX Mike down bottom. Whoa, I could feel the breeze from here, buddy. That was a bit of a whiff, but don't worry. They've got another crowd control. Fiend's Grip to secure the kill. IX Mike takes a fair bit of damage from the tower, though he does survive. Now Justin put inside the Nightmare, looking for an opening. They won't have it. Wild Witch Doctor himself in some trouble. Does grab the Brain Sap health. March the Machines enough to finish off Spectre. They pay with their Bane. And now Snob perhaps in some trouble. This Ember Spirit trying to chase him down. He's low on mana. Does have some remnants up, but in comes the kinetic
Where's
field.
the remnant, man?
He'll actually get stuck.
He could have chased with Bottle. He could have remnanted and then just killed him with the remnant. But
he doesn't like to use remnants. I don't know.
He does not like to use his Bottle either. He didn't have enough mana for his remnants. Why he didn't use it? And I don't know. That was he should be having more kills and less deaths, though.
Yeah, well, activate is 150. That's a pretty high mana cost on the remnants.
This is why you need the drums.
Yeah, exactly right. While all that was happening, though, the top tier 1 tower has fallen. It fell a while ago, but Ush was pressuring forward. The Dream Coil comes out, actually, onto the Morphling. He just waveforms away, very casual.
Yeah, casual, just farming away. He almost has his Lincolns, and this is the thing. Like when Morphling's put in a position like this, where his team is just creating space and he can just farm the whole entire time, then he's a good hero. But I mean, what heroes aren't good in that position?
Yeah, that's what it always comes back to. A nice phase shift from Bloody 9 right there. Does prevent the stun from Nyx Assassin, though he takes a Spike Carapace. Now he pops forward. Waning Rift does a fair bit of damage. Waveform forward. Another great phase shift. This Bloody 9. He's a bloody player, but he gets caught in the Static Storm, and he will fall. Now Tinker hops in. He finishes off the Visage, and they make it a 2-0 here in the top lane.
4-0-1 Tinker with a Blink Dagger at 13 minutes.
Wow. Where did that Blink come from? He just got his BOTs 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
That's the power of the BOTs, I guess. Wow.
Yeah, Tinker, I mean, you really wanted to delay his BOTs as much as possible, and they didn't do anything. They didn't really pressure him mid. They smoking top instead to get a Bane kill instead of smoking mid. They didn't stop his Ancient stacks at all. They weren't even scouting it, and now they blocked it, but he already has his BOTs. He can just farm anywhere else. Yeah,
the damage has been done. It was that initial, it was at least a 3-stack, if not 4 stacks, by the time Snot took it out.
Correct.
So, wow. Looks like the gold graph here already a 3,500 gold lead, a comparable amount of experience in favor of the Wild Witch Doctors, even though it is 6-8. They've just found so much more farm across the map. The Radiant Ancients have not been utilized, and they don't really have a great hero to clear the stacks anyhow. So that's part of that disparity coming in, the 1-0 tower count, and also just the superior farming across the lanes. We'll see some initiation in the mid lane. IX Mike is the first to fall to start off this fight. Disruptor as well as Bane in some trouble. They will secure a kill on the Tinker, and the Bane make it 4. That was a 4-0 in the mid. What an explosion of momentum for DNT. What happened?
That was just really nice initiate by Puck there. He just grabbed a few people in the coil, had a Illusory Orb and Waning Rift. They instantly killed Nyx. Disruptor took a lot of damage too. Tinker got caught, and that was just not great positioning. You don't ever want to be caught in the coil with the Tinker. You get just spam, stand in the back, you march, you rocket, you blink out, and then you don't get caught. You can't get caught by anything as Tinker. Yeah, sure you'll get hit by Spectral Ultimate, but in that case you just TP out and recharge and reload.
Yeah, now what's important to note there is the Spectre was actually the one to get the last hit on Tinker, so he got the bonus gold for ending the dominating streak, and now Justin is actually online pretty effectively. He's got drums, boots, phase boots, and the Orb of Venom up, and another 2.1k sitting in the bank, so if he wants to go for a Radiance following these drums, he'll have at least his Relic before too long here. That's really big, actually.
Yeah, I don't know why they're pushing. They're pushing 4 strong. You create space as 4 not by pushing head on into 5. You can split push and draw them around, but you don't push. So that's just a very strange tactic by them. You can push if they all take like a couple of rockets, then 2 of them are going to be really, really low, but just a straight up 4 or 5 with everyone full HP without wards up is just not a good idea. So they need to reevaluate when they should be fighting, and it should probably be after Morphling gets his next item.
Speaking of Morphling up top, does take a fair bit of damage. There's that Remnant forward. Ush has already procced his Lincolns and the waveform on cooldown, but they just don't have the follow-up to finish him off. At least Morphling was able to farm a fast Lincolns. That makes his life a lot easier now. He can start working towards that first big core item, whatever it may be.
I think EB wouldn't be that bad here.
Yeah, the old Ethereal Blade, the classic shotgun Morphling.
Manta's good for split push since they have the Tinker to complement. Oh, yeah. Bloody 9. He's in a really good position. Like, Snot's just running up there. If he gets coiled right now with TP support, he is a goner.
Oh, I think they know Puck is there, though. The Dream Coil comes out, does connect onto the Disruptor, and he hops forward. They will secure this kill on the Raptor Rider. And that's it. Just a 1-0, but they also defend their bottom tier 1 tower.
Yeah, it's still the same thing. Why are they pushing S4 without Morphling. They need to wait for Morphling to get big or get him to come with the fights. It's just not, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Throwing away that early lead they had, it was looking like it could be another quick game, but now it's pretty much evened out. The gold graph only about 1,200 in their favor. Experience graph is effectively zeroed out now. IX Mike has been walking around looking for kills with that Vendetta. Unfortunately, didn't find an opening, but that tower defense down bottom has created space for Ush, and he will be able to secure this top tier 2 tower kill. So more good news for the Wild Witch Doctors. Essentially trading their Disruptor for a solo tier 2 tower. Morphling didn't get the last hit, sadly, but still.
It's a lot of gold for him.
Yeah, still a lot of gold. Yeah,
and Dignotoss hasn't taken a T1 out too. That's a really big problem against Morphle or against a Tinker. You can't take out any of the T1s until he's dead, and that usually just means your team is going to be very, very starved for gold. But they're still pretty close, 2,000 in comparison. And the Spectre is where the majority of the farm is located, and that is really, really good news for Dignotoss. He has 7,100, just 800 gold behind both the Tinker and the Morphling. He is very close to his relic, just 600 gold away.
And you're right, they've got the farm where it counts, and that's what's really important. Even Ember Spirit isn't doing too bad. He's still chilling by a bit, but at about 5k on the net worth chart, he's at least holding steady. He now has the Drum of Endurance up to go with his phase boots, and Puck, whoa, there's the big item choice, almost level 11 as well. Does have the Blink
He
dagger.
recovered really nicely.
Certainly has. He had a rough time up in that hard lane, but now Puck is effectively online. I don't like the double Drum of Endurance here on DNT, but at least they're on heroes that both can capitalize from the benefits, so not the worst, but a little bit of overspill there.
Wasted value.
They wasted value. That's the phrase I was looking for.
They also need to make more use of the Nyx. Nyx has been searching for ganks, but just hasn't been able to get anything. He's only level 8. Compare him to the Puck, who has Blink, who's almost level 11. And yeah, I mean, there's no towers in this lane, and he still can't find a gank.
And well, actually, did we speak too soon here? Wild Witch Doctor himself, he does have an invisibility rune on. Oh, there's a courier.
Is it worth? They didn't even get the courier.
Wow, they did. They reveal the invis. They don't get the courier. Now IX Mike in trouble is Blink from the Puck, and he does get off the Spike Carapace. Fiend's Grip comes out on the Puck. It's just not enough damage. Nyx Assassin is the first to fall. Bane in big trouble. Ush is nearby. So is the Morphling. They grab a kill on the Puck, but it's going to cost them. It's a 1-for-3 exchange, and it's not over yet. Ush is not out of the clear. He doesn't have a waveform. Still has the Lincolns. That'll proc it. But I don't think he's going to be able to make the great escape here. He actually doubles back, trying to make it a 1-for-1, morphing some of that. Yeah, not going to work out. XCOM comes in to try and save him. That was a 1-for-5 exchange, Merlini. What the hell?
Nyx Assassin, he has to set up for better fights. He popped out a smoke, didn't even get the chicken, and then got engaged upon by a Puck. They need to find opportunities, and they're just like running into 4 heroes when Dignotoss is very, very prepared. They're going way deep into the base, and Dignotoss is still farming. So they should either be huddled up, not farming, or moving out and ganking and getting ganked by the Nyx. But neither of those are happening, and they're just getting away with farming and getting kills on them. So this is a disaster for...
It really is. Now Spectre is 6-1-6.
He's going to have his Radiance like 200 gold. He can have it now if he wanted to.
IX Mike, he did Vendetta in the mid lane, but will just burn it on a creep. Yeah, that was one of those, like, the courier flew over at the perfect time, and you could tell that they stuttered. Is it worth it to break this invis to catch the courier? And if they had committed one way or the other, it would have been much better. If they had just broken the invis, killed the courier straight away, at least they would have gotten it.
Yeah, hesitation is...
Yeah, they hit the courier, didn't finish it, and then revealed their invis, and that was the catalyst to start off that terrible team fight.
Right.
Can't pussyfoot around in that kind of a scenario.
Yep. And Dignotoss is almost ahead in gold, or they are ahead in gold if you exclude these 2 towers. So now Tinker's farm is like not as relevant because he's died a couple of times and they haven't been able to control the map at all, and they can just dump like sentry wards here, and Nyx can't really do that much about it. Finally, this T1 on bottom will fall, but they're not putting enough split pressure presence around the map.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Yeah, Puck does secure the denied. Total tower count now in favor of the Dire side. They did take out that top tier 2, and the tier 1 mid is still standing for DNT. Now, Tinker's farm, although not as crazy as it was, he does have the ultimate orb in the inventory. No doubt working towards a sheep stick. In the mid lane, Fiend's Grip used on Spectre. Follow-up from the Disruptor. Throws down the Static Storm as well as the Kinetic Field, but they just don't have the damage. Now Puck hops in. A 3-person Dream Coil. A lot of damage coming the way of Team Wild Witch Doctors, and this is going to be another disaster. Bane will be the first to fall. XCOM takes a stun. He's going to go down as well. Mega kill streak out for the Ember Spirit. Nyx and Tinker, they get scraped up as well. It's another 4-for-0 exchange. And DNT with some serious momentum here. They'll be able to grab themselves their first tower kill of the match.
This is a disaster. It all started with a T1 push in mid without Morphling. And then they tried to go again. After they failed to push mid, they tried to push again, and then they got wrecked. And then after that, they tried to do a gank in very aggressive territory without even the T1s up on the other side of the map. I think they could just constantly push out the left side with Morphling or Tinker, and then take out one of the T1s in mid and bottom, and just slow play it. There's no reason that you have to like push this early. You need to kill Spectre so he doesn't get his Radiance, but you don't have to push.
Right. Yeah, there's a difference between shutting down Spectre and then just shoving your entire team into enemy territory for really no reason. Morphling could be in a sticky situation here. He did port down to that bottom tier 1 tower, so his TP's on cooldown for another 30 seconds. You see the Ember Spirit, I guess he was invisible, but it will expire now. Again, he won't be going that Battle Fury build, same as last we saw him here on DNT, going
finally they might get a kill here.
Desolator. Yeah, he's in big trouble. BOTs from the Tinker coming.
That's exactly what they should be doing.
Yeah, and Morphling gets that bonus gold as well. 700 bounty for ending that mega streak.
Yeah, they have such good gank too. Like they set up with Nyx, set it up with a glimpse, and then after that you get Tinker to BOT in, and then that should be an easy kill. Or Morphling can replicate it in. But yeah, they just weren't utilizing the strengths of their lineup. And now it seems like they've realized what their mistakes were. They need to take it a little bit passively, get another item up on Morphling, take out Roshan because they have the map control, and then after that you can start forcing some towers.
Yeah. Baby steps here, Merlini. Looks like Morphling will be going for the E-Blade. He does have an Eagle Song already, so at least Morphling's farm is still pretty solid. Looking at the net worth chart, topping it, but Spectre is nipping at his heels, trailing by only about 500 or 600.
He also needs to make images of the Spectre too. Like Spectre's really strong right now.
High priority.
Yeah. So if he gets that Radiance and the Desolate damage, he's gonna own.
Yeah, that's a really good point. If you can replicate the Spectre, it does doesn't nullify the Radiance, but it gives them a taste of their own medicine, which can up your team damage quite a bit. I think that Desolator on Ember Spirit though will be something that will be difficult to deal with. He's already hitting hard, and once he has that minus armor, I just don't think they're equipped to deal with it. They don't have a particularly high armor team. Only 3 on the Disruptor, 6 on the Nyx, 7 on the Tinker and Bane. Morphling is the only high armor hero when he has a lot of agility morphed. Right now sitting at 18, but that Desolator is going to do some serious damage.
Yep. Ush does have a lot of armor, though. He has 18, so he's the only one with decent amount. But at the same time, the T1s are still up, although they look like they are making a move forward on bottom. Mike gets caught out.
And they burn the Dream Coil, Waning Rift as well. He will use a nice Spike Carapace, connects with a few stuns. In comes the Telekinesis. They finish off the Nyx Assassin before support can come inbound. Disruptor did port to the tower. We see the Static Storm down. But IX Mike will fall, and now they will just group up for this push. It is a 5-man squad down here, as we see Spectre cutting the tower.
Yep, this might even be 2 towers. Nope, Snow's already in position to double march the wave, so it will not be 2 towers.
That's a lot of machines. It's amazing how much damage those machines do.
Yep, don't stand in the machines.
But while that push was happening, the creeps actually took out the middle tier 1 tower. Morphling shoved some creeps into the top tier 3. Just tickled the tower a little bit, did about 300 damage or so, but at least pressuring the base, I think the right idea for Ush. And that tower makes it a 1-for-1 exchange. Gold Grab now starting to move in the Dignotoss.
Now he has an EB, so he can crush this Morphling, or crush this Puck if he's not careful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there it is, being delivered on the courier. Ethereal Blade is up, as is the Desolator.
So yeah, while Witch Doctor is still not in that bad of a position, they are down behind in gold right now, and compound that with them having more towers taken down. It's not that great of a position, but at the same time, Tinker is closing in on Sheep, and Nyx doesn't actually skip for the blink. He had 1,700 gold, instead going for the Ogre Club and the Cloak, because he was just dying, and he has the most deaths this game, 0, 6, and 6 on him. Wow. Most deaths also on the Disruptor, 1 and 6. And yeah, I just think the Puck has just been so much more useful than the Nyx's asset, and both of them were in relatively the same position, just solo off lane, pressured a lot, but Puck has just set up so many good opportunities for Dignotoss to get back in this game.
Oh no, Ush is in big trouble here. Uses the E-Blade on himself, takes a fair bit of damage, and now will just try to port out. That Lincoln Sphere comes in handy, and he makes it back to the base. Wow. And actually 2 casual cloaks on the side of the Wild Witch Doctors. Also 1 in the inventory of the Disruptor.
Yeah, they do have a lot of magic damage, but they also have a lot of physical damage and pure damage. Look, IX Mike gets caught out again.
Yeah, he's in big trouble. Rubik did manage to steal the Impale, gives him a taste of his own medicine. Now he connects with an Impale of his own. IX Mike will pour it out. Again, a little deja vu right there, but both him and Morphling survive.
Bane picks up a gem. He's tired of the wards. I think he might die, though, like, so quickly. I think he needs a ghost, so he doesn't get wrecked by Radiant Spectre during Haunt.
That Bane's not that rich, Merlini. You talking all crazy.
He just bought a gem.
Yeah, he just bought it.
It's only 700 more gold.
Yeah, but having a gem as well as the Ghost Scepter. It's just too rich for his blood.
Yeah. I think.
Scout him out.
Oh, yeah. Rubik has a gem,
too. They have a gem of their own. I was going to say, how did they see him? They've got a gem. So, wow. Yeah, that's a little bit of a risky pick right there. The gem, I mean, on Bane. Just a little bit.
But they see everyone rotating top right now. The wards, they were running on the low ground, so they don't actually know that they had vision of them. This could be a very bad fight for them because they're not set up for this. Spectre is on the bottom lane, but Sna needs to be there ASAP so he can start spamming March. There are the Vintage Birds on the bottom lane, perhaps to set up for a kill. And Desolator, yeah, has been up on Ember Spirit. Haven't seen it in action yet, though.
Yep.
Looks like they're not going to defend.
Yeah. Spectre does have a Haunt available as well, so doing what Spectre does best, farming in some obscure corner of the map, and well, ready to hop into a team fight at a moment's notice. Top tier 1 tower does fall, and that helps level out the tower count a little bit. Bane's Illusion will almost be in trouble. He burns a Dream Coil on nothing? Wow.
Ooh, Spectre, nice
illusion.
map awareness. They were all headed down there.
Yeah. Well, Puck's Dream Coil is on cooldown now. Not the biggest of deals, but may make a team fight possible for Wild Witch Doctors. IX Mike and WWD move into the Roche pit with Disruptor. They do not have a lot of damage here. This will be a very slow Roche attempt. While this
if they replicate tank, I think they can. But yeah, this is going to be a difficult Roche. And if Spectre ults in just to check, they are going to lose the team. Oh, there it goes.
And there it is. Spectre ults. Will he take one of the illusions, though? And he does.
Glimpse him back.
Ports out just in time.
He glimpsed an illusion.
Yep.
Well, that's not the worst thing in the world. They did bait out the Spectre ultimate, and they stopped them from pushing the T2. So actually, I think that was a very good move. If they had to come out like 5 seconds later, oh, Ush gets blown up.
Yeah, Ush is in big trouble. He will fall to the Visage, a double damage rune actually on the Puck right
I don't know if E being there was the right call.
Yeah, but you're right about the Roche. It did open up some space, stop the tower, and now they know the Spectre ult is on cooldown. But with Ush dead, that may be the signal that Dignotoss were looking for to just move into the Roche pit and take over where WWD left off. They will do just that. The Wild Witch Doctors, they're privy to it. They're nearby. And they want to make a hole, but they need to do it quick. Roche is falling very quickly here. Sna, you better hop in if you're going to do it. The Aegis is down. It was a nice impale. He could have snagged it if he wanted to, but Tinker will play it safe and decides just to right-click his sheep stick instead.
Wow. Yeah, Morphling dying there was just a huge mistake, though. I still don't know why he used an EB here versus he was up against a Rubik and a Puck, and he EB'd and just got blown up before he could morph this raid. And the Lincolns did not save him there, so had he survived that fight, they wouldn't have been able to take out Roche. Now Spectre is huge. He has Manta, Drums, Radiance, and an Aegis, and 400 gold to boot. 9, 1, and 9 on him.
Yeah. And yeah, now topping the net worth chart, about 1,000 up on the Morphling. This is when Spectre turns into that really scary late-game hard carry.
Oh, they're going to try and go for a gank on bottom.
IX Mike initiates it. There's no mana left on the Spectre. Snob BOT's in.
This could be a double kill.
That's the end of the Aegis.
No. That was a very nice gank too.
It certainly was, and they'll both just port out to safety. Smart choice as well, as support was inbound from DNT.
I don't see why they couldn't have done that like 10 minutes ago though, or 20 minutes ago even. Like, where has the Nyx hasn't been shutting anyone down? And yeah, they finally got an Aegis, but that's like the first good Vendetta initiate I've seen in 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, he has tried. I've seen him moving around in Vendetta, but he just hasn't found any openings to pick someone off. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe positioning is the issue, maybe map awareness, but he certainly has been using that Vendetta cooldown.
Yep, and they've constantly been Observer warding this, or Sentry warding the Ancient Spawn too, so he has not had a double spawn in ages.
Yeah, that's true. Now, one of the things about Tinker that is good in a situation like this, that even though DNT have picked up a lot of momentum, they've got that hard carry Spectre. Even if Spectre is super fat, it's really hard to push into a Tinker. They can turtle up for almost indefinitely with March of the Machines. Tinker is actually now level 16, so it does have the level 3 rearm.
It's just really important that it doesn't get picked off. It's important for Morph to not get picked off, but it's more important for Snot to not get picked off.
Yeah, absolutely. So even though DNT are in a good position here, they're still very far from sealing the deal. About a 5,000 gold lead, somewhere about 12,000 experience lead. It's significant, but against the Tinker, you're still a ways off being able to break the high ground. All three of the Tier 2s actually still standing for Wild Witch Doctors, which does speak to how difficult it is for them to push despite Spectre's massive farm. Manta is now up, has been delivered from the Courier, and we'll see where he wants to go next. Just needs to tank up. Maybe a Heart wouldn't be so bad for Spectre this game.
A Heart would be really good. It'll help you dying from the permahex, which is what he needs.
And other item progression here. Puck now has a Yule Scepter of Divinity. Ember Spirit continuing to go hard carry build now with a Demon Edge in tow, either a crit stick or an MKB. And this Rubik actually has what's just a casual point booster right now. Could that end up being an Ag Scepter? That's interesting. Not an item we see on Rubik all too often.
Orfley getting caught out.
Uh-oh. Ush. That Lincoln's will help him out a little bit, but Puck hops forward. The Silence, the Dream Coil. They grab yet another kill on the solo Morphling.
He had time to wait for him out. I don't know what he was waiting for.
A little bit of hesitation. Ember Spirit, he hops forward, finishes off the Bane.
Wow, that damage.
That was devastation right there. Both supports just get, well, they're off laner, but they just get obliterated.
They really did.
Easy 3-0 exchange.
Now it's on Tinker to hold this tower, but if he gets jumped.
And Puck hops forward, forces Snob back. The March of the Machines come out. And we can see how much damage they do. That kinetic field actually...
This is 3 heroes down and they still can't push.
Yep.
This is the strength of the Tinker right here. It allows you so much room for error that, your second most important hero got picked off, your Morphling and your 2 supports, but they didn't even really touch that T3. They got 2 damage on it.
Yeah, they did do some pretty serious damage to that Tier 2 tower. They secure the kill, but still a ways off that high ground. Now 25-10 here at the 33-minute mark. First game went wildly in favor of the Wild Witch Doctors, but now they are struggling. Goldgraph continuing in the DNT favor, 7,500 gold, 14,000 experience. That is pretty devastating. The level chart is starting to get a little bit out of control. That green is floating towards the top.
Yep, and this is why I consider Morphling like a dumpster tier hero. Like, he had even farm with Spectre, except Spectre is 9-1-12. He's been involved in 21 kills, and Morphling's been involved in 4. And he's died 3 times. And now he's fallen behind in net worth. And they had the advantage early game, too. So, like, all these things were working in Morphling's favor, but it's just, like, the hero comes a little bit short in particular situations like this.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better myself. This is another great example of why Morphling is just not what he used to be. A shadow of his former self, perhaps.
Yeah, he just can't snowball out of control like Spectre can, and he can't kill the team fast enough. Like, did you see how quickly that Ember Spirit annihilated those 2 supports? Like, Morphling can annihilate like 1 support at a time every like 30 seconds.
Yep. Oh no, they catch Snobs. Puck hops forward.
This is going to be a buyback. He has to buy back for this.
Yep. And he doesn't. Oh yeah, he does have it. He used it straight away. Disruptor. He gets juiced. This is going to be rough. They might be able to hold this off because Tinker bought back, but it's starting to look like this game may end sooner rather than later. If they catch Tinker one more time with that buyback on cooldown or catch him without enough gold, they'll be able to just demolish this
Dignotoss can just wait it out, though. Their hero skill a lot better with farm, and they can wait for the Aegis since they have map control right now. So they just need to get the next Aegis, put it on Spectre, get a heart on her, and then they can just push up the hill, and he can just tank the March at that point.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Dire's top tower
Reaver now up on the Spectre. So working towards that Heart of Taras, 2.1k HP. That is a tanky spec. They will clear out the top tier 2 tower and further their gold lead even a little bit more here as Spectre ports bottom to defend. And we'll have a Heart of Taras very soon. Only about 1,200 to go.
IX Mike looking for a kill, though. This could be the time. He has 2,100 HP, though. He needs a Manta ASAP. No, he did not Manta. Now he might die.
Yeah, Justin's in big trouble. There's the sheep. Oink, 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 oink. Will they have the damage? No, they don't. They're forced to retreat and port out as support is nearby. They all survive, but they don't get the kill on Spectre. That shows the tipping of the scales, I think. A few moments ago, that was a free kill.
Yeah.
They just don't have the damage.
They really don't. I I don't know. This is going to be a very tough one for Wild Witch Doctors to pull it out. Ush has just died too many times in crucial situations. And he doesn't have enough money for BKB either. I think he probably should have gotten a BKB instead of the EB. He hasn't been able to get any kills with the EB. And, I mean, a lot of the heroes are just extremely hard to kill. Like, Puck can just phase shift and blink, or he can use himself. Spectre has Dispersion. We have Ember Spirit with the Flame Guard. We have Visage with the Gravekeeper's Cloak. And we have the Rubik with the Null Field. So, in retrospect, the shotgun build is just not very effective. I think he even could have gone the battle build with HOD Scotty and just right-click them, and it also gives you extra armor to tank up versus Ember Spirit, so he can't run away. But right now, all he does is like EB, try and kill somebody, doesn't kill anyone, and then has to run away.
And speaking of running away, Ush will have to go toe-to-toe with the Spectre up top. And Manta popped, but he won't pursue. Just a little bit of harassment as support is inbound from IX Mike, so it does make the right choice to back up. That's it. So both teams will go back to farming, perhaps our Radiant side, waiting for Roche. The initial round of Roche time is about to expire, and we'll see how long until he responds. But that could be what DNT are waiting for. If they can secure the next Roche, there you go. Perfect timing for that timer. Will be a 2-minute Roche spawn.
One thing I also don't like about Morphling is that a lot of players are really bad about using his ultimate. They only use it in one particular case, which is just using it to escape. But you can just use it for so much more. You can use it to bait the Tinker out, because they are going to blow a lot of spells on him since he does have a Blink Dagger and a Sheep for escape. And you can just buy yourself a lot of time. You can also replicate it in, follow in the Nyx Assassin. If you find somebody, BOT in, Shotgun, and the Hex, you're going to get a kill. So they're just not being creative about the usage of the... not even creative. I mean, I think it's pretty standard. But it's just they're just not being very flexible with the use of the replicate.
Yeah, there was a 5-man spoke from DNT into the dire jungle, but unfortunately for them, they don't find anyone. Wild Witch Doctors, well, they made the right play to turtle up in their base, but that's about all they can do right now. We see map control has just gone the way of the Radiant side. No one is farming on the dire right now. IX Mike is turtled up near the side shop, and he's just had no item progression. His inventory is exactly the same as it was 10 minutes ago. Ogre Club and Cloak, all he has after the Arcane Boots.
Yep, very unfortunate for him. Ush is getting big.
Tinker, almost in some trouble.
Look at how much the Spectre Illusions do. It's going to kill. It killed him.
He got denied by the Bane, but still, that was just Haunt. That's it. Wow. That's showing the power of Spectre right now, or really the lack of power on the side of Wild Witch Doctors. Bane gets juiced by the Ember Spirit as he hops forward. They will secure a kill onto the Rubik, but a pretty clear exchange of damage going in favor of DNT. That was a 3-for-1.
Yeah, these poor supports, like, it is so difficult for any of them to survive. They have to get Ghost. That's pretty much the only thing that will save them at this point. Disruptor can use Glimpse on an image, I suppose, but aside from that, I mean, Bane also has to use Sleep, but I mean, still, those illusions just do so much friggin' damage. There's Spectre's Heart. Roshan is going to respawn in about 10 seconds time, and that will probably be the word go for Dignotoss. And Tinker will have his buyback cooldown in 1 minute's time, so I guess they have to probably kill him 2 more times before a GG is called, but still, their time is going to be ended shortly.
Yep. And if you look at the vision here of the Dire, they do only have 1 ward out on the map, and it's right here on the high ground outside of the Roche pit. So
oh, here's a smoke. They're going for it. This is do or die at this point. There's a replicate illusion here. Send it in, buddy, so they can actually take some spells, but no, it's not. I don't think he's going to
just going to hang out, just keeping the base safe, you know. Yep, there's the smoke, and this ward will expire soon, so at the very least, I think they need to get another observer down. Actually, Disruptor doesn't have one. Bane does have a set of
oh, they think he's doing. They think they're doing Roshan, but they're not in Roshan yet.
Yep, Visage Birds will scout it out, giving DNT a little bit of an edge
DNT's
here.
playing it super safe.
They see Ush. They know exactly what's happening. We see the ping come out straight away.
If Ush Rise is also game 2, because he has BKB and he doesn't have buyback.
Yeah, that's true. Big item pickup here.
Derp, derp. He is out on his own. Whoa. What are you doing out there, buddy?
There's the shotgun. He takes a lot of damage. He will be the first of haul, but Spectre haunts in straight away. A big Dream Coil from the Puck catches at least 3 of the Wild Witch Doctors, and they're just taking too much damage. The 2 supports get melted. Tinker falls shortly after. Ush manages to get the BKB off, but will it be enough? I say nay. Down he goes. That's a 1-for-5. Wow. Just demolition outside of the Roche pit.
Yep. these carriers are way too farmed. And even farm, they can do okay, but with Spectre being 4,000 above the Morphling and with Ember Spear being 4,000 above the Tinker, it's just too much. It was really the decision to push by them just really cost them the game.
Yeah, Tinker buys back, but just look at the damage. Monster kill for the Ember Spirit. Nyx Assassin will buy back as well, but it's just a matter of time at this point. I don't think they can hold this off. Even if they hold off this push, DNT just have so much power now. They'll clear the bottom tier 3 tower. This bottom lane of Rax will evaporate. And just look at IX Mike. He's getting completely zoned out. Ember Spirit is out of mana now, though. Does have enough for one more Sleight of Fist. And that will be enough to secure another kill on the Bane as he respawns. XCOM will get right-clicked down by the Spectre. He glimpses him back, but the duration it takes for the glimpse to activate is enough for Spectre to secure the kill.
I would have GG'd after the 5-man wipe. And looks like they're going to be a little bit late in calling it, but yeah, this game was over quite some time ago. And yeah, while Witch Doctors, they try to go for a greedy draft, and they didn't play it greedy, is the thing. You let the opponents come to you, you waste their time by marching, and then you get really, really huge, and then you use your Nyx Assassin to pick people off. That should have been their game plan, and they deviated away by pushing, forcing the issue, and diving way too far into the opponent's base too, and just that was not the right decision.
Yeah, it really was WWD's game to throw. They started off so strong. Tinker had BOTs up by 10 minutes. He had his blink after that by 13 minutes. That's about as good of a start for the Tinker as you can hope for.
Yeah.
And they just got hyper-aggressive. IX Mike didn't have a huge impact early on. They compensated for it, and then they just had so many back-to-back fail engages. It was that one courier that started it all off, though. That was the beginning of the unraveling of the Wild Witch Doctors. Be interesting to see what would happen if that courier didn't fly overhead to reveal that.
I think they would have lost that fight anyways, because they didn't.
Yeah.
The puck had just picked the blink, so
yeah, they didn't see it. They hadn't seen the blink yet,
so
that's true.
First they pushed mid, they got wiped. They pushed bottom, they got wiped. They tried to go for a gank top, they got wiped, and then it was
After
pretty much
that, it was just the Morphling got picked off solo a couple of times, and I mean Spectre, he had his Radiance up, and
yeah, you expect to win the early game versus Spectre, which they did, and then like come 15 minutes, they just completely threw their lead away.
Yeah.
It was really sad to see.
Well, a much different game 2 than we saw in game number 1, and that does take us into an ace match. This last game, our last match of the day, elimination is truly on the line here. The loser of game 3 is
Who do you think is going to win?
I had faith in Wild Witch Doctors throughout this series. Coming into this series, I had faith after seeing game 1, but that game 2, that really was their game to throw, and they just crumbled. I'm a little bit worried that now that kind of lost some momentum, lost some morale, I hope they can shake it off, but they seem a little bit rattled. So I still think Wild Witch Doctors can do it, but I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up.
I think Wild Witch Doctors, I think they'll ban Ember Spirit and just play the games they're good at.
Play what you know?
Yeah.
All right, we'll see. So we'll take a short break here, guys. The lobby's already up. Game 3, the conclusion of today's losers bracket best of 3, is coming up in just a minute.